Hi everybody, welcome back to another Stoneforge gaming video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a unit of werewolves that I painted up a while ago. These are Reaper werewolves from their Warlord miniatures line, which was a skirmish game that they were doing a while back. I'm not sure if they're still doing it or not, but I'd painted these up quite some time ago. But now I'm using them for Kings of War, so I figured you guys might get a kick out of checking these out as sort of a an alternative to the, say, the Mantic werewolves, which, if you're not a fan, I like the Mantic werewolves well enough, and I've actually got some that I'll probably paint up eventually, but just in case you wanted to try some of these out, you can check them out and see if you like the details on them. So these guys I painted up, like I say, a while ago. I painted them up pretty basically. It was before I really got into some of the finer detailing with some of my models, but I really kind of just wanted to get that overall tone. This was a character for their unit, and so I painted them up with those kind of bright red colors. This was before I started using washes and doing edge highlightings and things like that, so I probably will go back in and maybe touch up these guys at some point. You can see I like the little details that they have, the dual swords, and then the sort of the little extra bits and bobs, like the little pouch and stuff there. I painted his face and fur up with a very normal dry brush of black to whites, and then just kind of went to town, and I just kind of split the difference between the underbelly and then the sort of back side of the wolf fur. These two, they're the same sculpt. You can see I just painted them up in two different ways. The one in brown, obviously, and the other in a sort of dark gray / black, depending on your sort of the way you look at them. I also changed up their color schemes as far as the details go. So the guy in the brown, I did his leather as more of a sort of aged stained leather and with some studs, whereas the guy on the right, I did the sort of brass or bronze studs and the red sort of leather armor. It looks like it's been sort of dyed. But overall, they're pretty much the same. I really like the effect that it gives them. I like the way they're kind of rushing forward with that one weapon in their left hand. But you can see it's kind of interesting. I actually did base them up in a kind of a precursor to my Borderlands style before I really even kind of named it. These two, again, are the same sculpts. I just painted them up in different ways to kind of vary up the way they look, and then you can kind of, again, there's not a ton of variation. There was only, at the time, I think now they have even more different sculpts for their werewolves, but at the time there was not that many out. So I painted them up in sort of a grayish kind of color scheme, and then the other one has that just that regular brown. And then I actually started doing some washes on the skin tones of the one on the left here, but I just never got very far. I dry brushed it up with starting with a kind of a mid-tone gray and going up to almost a white, just kind of adding a couple of layers there. This last one here was a character. Another character was I believe like a werewolf spellcaster or something. Kind of makes a neat little addition. I like all the little bits and bobs on the back here. You've got his backpack, this sort of, I'm not sure if it's a flute or what. The skull, again, the bones don't look that great because of the fact that back then I was only doing, I was really just with some of that stuff, I was just base coating it, and I didn't really do much else with it. So again, I'll probably go back and finish these guys. I do like the little dagger he's got there because it's not something that pops out at first, but I like the overall look of it. This guy, for being the pure white wolf, I actually did a little bit different, and I actually started off with like a light tan color and then dry brushed him up, so he's got a little bit of it doesn't look like a pure white white color, because I just figured it wouldn't look super right if if a werewolf was, I don't know, completely clean, and he was out there in the wilderness and just managed to keep his fur perfectly clean. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look at these werewolf models. As I say, I'm going to do more work with them, but maybe it's given you guys hopefully some ideas for alternative miniatures that you hadn't maybe thought of.